the Monster Jam Studios, I'm Scott Jordan with this edition of the Weekly Update. It was an exciting week to be a Monster Jam fan with 12 action-packed events taking place. There were exciting finishes, crazy saves, and a couple of series champions booking their trips to the Sunshine State. So sit back and get comfy because you're all mine for the next few minutes, and we are going places fast, baby. So let's kick it off in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where Arena Championship Series West invaded the Broadmoor World Arena. Brandon Vinson trying to clinch the series championship. In the Great Clips 2 Wheel Skills Challenge on Friday night, Gravedigger with the stoppy nose wheelie, and here comes the moonwalk up, eases down the drop, smoking the transmission, and wait for it, flips the truck around. Gravedigger wins the competition. He would win the event championship as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a series champion out west, and it's Brandon Vinson. The third series championship of his career sends him to World Finals 21. He would add another event trophy on Saturday afternoon, but on Saturday night, Tristan England says, "What about me?" Yeah, he's really good too. In the racing finals, it's Earthshaker against Jailbird, who got by Gravedigger in round one. Tristan with two clean corners and the lead halfway through. He stays tight on the box, and it's Earthshaker picking up the racing win. He would finish second in every other competition, so Tristan England gets the event championship. On Sunday, same story as the first two events. Check out this wow moment from freestyle. Gravedigger hits the jump, short on the landing, so the back end of the truck flies up. Nose wheelie across the track right onto Rockwell Red. That gives Gravedigger the freestyle win, and Brandon Vinson gets his third event championship of the weekend. Let's take a look now at the series points standings. As I mentioned, Vinson clinches the series with a 131-point lead over Tristan England, David Olford, Travis Mallory, and Miranda Kozad in the top five. Arena Championship Series West makes its final stop of the season this weekend at the Rest Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with 3 events beginning on Friday night. Right now, I'd like to welcome back to the Weekly Update the newly crowned Arena Championship Series West champion, Brandon Vinson. Brandon, welcome back and congrats on the title.
Man, thank you. Feels good to be back on, especially talking about winning a championship after this past weekend. We clinched the series Friday night in Colorado Springs, and it felt great to do it.
Well, you're now a 3-time series champion, which when you say 3-time series champion, that has a really good ring to it. So how does it feel to cement yourself as one of the sport's most decorated series winners?
You know what? It feels great, and it's really special this year because it's the 40th anniversary of Gravedigger. We've worked hard towards that all year long. That's what I wanted to do, was bring this title, this championship back to North Carolina on the 40th anniversary. You know, for Dennis, for the Andersons, for myself, we all strive to be great at what we do inside this Gravedigger truck and for our fans, and it made it that much more sweet to win a championship this year and bring it back to Carolina. And it feels great going into World Finals. Definitely ready to compete there.
All right, well, let me ask you this. You know, you can flat out drive. You've proven that. We all know that you're one of the best racers in the business. But when it comes to that Orlando track, it's going to be long, it's going to be wide, and it's going to have a lot of twists and turns. Do you feel that maybe some of the drivers that have competed on the longer tracks and stadiums this year will have an advantage against you for competing in the smaller arenas?
Yeah, for sure. You know, people that have been on the stadium series, the tracks are longer and have the turns in them. So it's just going to be something I'm going to have to adapt to when we get there. But the best part about it is it's a brand new track for this year. Nobody's driven on it. It's going to be something to watch out for. You know, they're going to practice. We're going to see some people run on the tracks, and hopefully we can get out there and learn the track and do it better than everybody else and win a world title in racing. That'd be awesome.
I love the confidence. You can watch Brandon and Gravedigger run the Ragged Edge this weekend in Green Bay, Wisconsin, before he heads off to Orlando. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and check us out at World Finals. It's going to be a blast.
Some of the stars that competed on Stadium Championship Series Yellow were in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania over the weekend with a stacked lineup, and Corey Rummel making a switch here into Jurassic Attack. On Friday night, the Great Clips 2 Wheel Skills Challenge, Gravedigger with a sky wheelie. Brake check, gets the bounce and off the pod with a stoppie, moonwalk back onto the pod and reverse stoppie into a wheelie on a dime here and moves it back down. Now let's recap. That's a sky wheelie, stoppie, moonwalk, reverse stoppie, wheelie combo. 6 moves in one, and that gets the win. Tyler Menega takes the first event championship of the weekend, and he would add a second on Saturday afternoon. On Saturday night, it was prime time at the Mohegan Sun Arena, and in freestyle, that means it's prime time Chucky Pawkin off the pod into a stoppie, then a nose wheelie, then comes back around off the tires with a sky wheelie, smooth across the pod, and then the dog digging for the bone at the end of the run. Monster Mutt wins freestyle, and Charlie Pauken takes the event championship. There's one more event on Sunday, and in freestyle, Tyler Menega soars over the pod as Gravedigger defies gravity, then the big air brake check, nose wheelie into a stoppie, moonwalk onto the pod, going for a reverse stoppie, but comes up short, goes over, but makes the save right into another stoppie. Wow moment of the night, and Gravedigger wins freestyle, and Tyler takes 3 out of 4 event championships. Wilkes-Barre was the last stop of the season for some of these superstars, but Menega, Blood, Pauken, Musauer, Kohler, and Rummel will now get the next 2 weekends off before heading to Orlando, where they will compete at Monster Jam World Finals. Get your tickets for World Finals 21 right now at monsterjam.com. Arena Championship Series Central visited the Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska last weekend, and John Zimmer Jr. enjoying a fantastic rookie season in terminal velocity that would continue in Lincoln on Saturday afternoon in racing. He would meet Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops, and at the halfway point, this one was dead even. Final turn, terminal velocity on 3 wheels, and John Zimmer Jr. takes the first 8 points of the night. In the Great Clips 2 Wheel Skills Challenge, terminal velocity into a stoppie, a nose wheelie, then the moonwalk back up to the pod, into a reverse stoppie wheelie combo over the pod, and terminal velocity is your winner, and John Zimmer Jr. takes the first event championship of the weekend. On Saturday night in the donut competition, it's Tony Oaks looking to get in the win column. Soldier Fortune Black Ops hits the pod, doesn't even phase Tony, gets in the groove, and round he goes. The track looks like a mud pit, and that is enough for the win. Tony Oaks taking the event championship. Check out this wow moment during freestyle on Sunday. Elvis Linus launches El Toro Loco off the log, clips the back 2 BKTs on the lip of the pod, flips up onto the nose, and just absolutely crushes Max D. Elvis took the win. Tony Oaks, though, gets his second title of the weekend and now gets a whole lot closer to taking the series championship as we look at the point standings. Kristen Anderson still has the lead, but Tony Oaks has cut it in half. Now 22 points separate first and second. Blake Granger, Elvis Linus, John Zimmer Jr. continue to round out the top 5. This weekend, the final series champion will be crowned as Arena Championship Series Central takes over the SNHU Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire with 3 events. Will it be Kristen Anderson or Tony Oaks? Find out when the action kicks off on Saturday afternoon. Arena Championship Series East had the weekend off, but let's catch you up on the series point standings. Weston Anderson is the series champion. He is heading to World Finals. Cody Saucier and Brianna Mahan are joining him. I would expect a lot of fun to be had as this series closes out the season at the Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, West Virginia, with 3 events beginning on Friday night. Stadium Championship Series Red was at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City for the very first time and for its final event of the season. And there was a lot on the line as the series champion would be crowned on a beautiful Salt Lake City evening. In the racing finals, Tom Meents looking to win the series. He's up against Cole Vennard, Black Pearl with the whole shot into the turn, Max D with a great corner, but it's Pro with the lead halfway through. Tom Meents trying to get his first racing win of the season, but no one was beating Cole Vennard on this track, and he gets his 3rd racing win of the year. In the Great Clip Skills Challenge, Todd LeDuc, who was eliminated from the points race earlier in the night, comes off the ramp with a bicycle, turns in, then hits the stoppie, gets on 2 tires, then nails the crab moonwalk, and it's Todd LeDuc with his 4th win of the season in the competition. Now going into Salt Lake City, Saigon Shakers Ryan Disharoon had never won a stadium freestyle competition, and he looked to change that on Saturday. Starts getting on a roll with the big air pod jump, then comes in too hot, slams on the brakes, sends the truck into the container, huge backflip, more big air over the car stack right into the tabletop, and finishes up with a donut. And flying Ryan Disharoon gets the win. Todd LeDuc takes the event championship, his 3rd, but Tom Meents, who was so consistent all year, is crowned the series champion. Nearly loses the trophy, but it's the 2nd series title of his career, and he is headed back to World Finals. Let's take a look at the final series point standings. Tom Meents takes the title. Adam Anderson finishes in 2nd. Todd LeDuc in 3rd. Cole Vennard in 4th. Bryce Kenny in 5th. What a great battle between those two. Cole said 4th is the new 1st on Saturday evening. Now with this series now coming to an end, some of these superstars will shift their focus to World Finals in Orlando in just 2 short weeks. Speaking of Tom Meents, my next guest is the 12-time World Finals champion. So it is my pleasure to welcome in from Paxton, Illinois, the Professor Tom Meents. Tom, thanks for joining me, and congrats on your series championship.
Thank you, and it's great to be here.
Now you had a heated battle for the title with Adam Anderson and Todd LeDuc. Did having to hold them off for most of the season make you elevate your game a little bit?
It did. You know, that's the best part about our tour is we have fantastic competition. Every one of the competitors had the ability to win. Oftentimes they did. It was just neck and neck, you know. And the number one thing about Monster Jam is when you're up against the best competition in the world, like we all know, it just makes you a better driver and you put a better product out on the track.
Now, you had a new crew chief this year in Steve Lashinsky. Can you describe the dynamic that you two had for the season?
You know, we didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time together because we were both working on the Monster Jam truck, you know, each week in and out. Steve did fantastic. He never gave up. He never melted down under extreme pressure. He took it all in. And, you know, number one thing he did was just work. He just constantly worked. He learned a lot. You know, it really made him a seasoned, tough veteran this year.
Now, this season, you had to not only deal with what was happening on the track, but you were very open in your interviews about things that were going on off the track with a lot of emotions involved. How are you able to not only focus on these competitions with everything going on, but also be so consistent?
You know, I think with my father, you know, being down, being ill, and, you know, just telling myself, you know, Dad always wanted me to be, you know, number one. He always worked hard to make sure that we got the truck back on track, you know, in all my racing career, from bicycles through mud racing onto monster trucks, you know, and that kind of calmed me, really, you know. I mean, I was doing what he wanted me to do, even though he wasn't able to watch or attend there for a while. He got out of the hospital, and I knew I wanted to give him the trophy, you know. He needed a trophy for all he's done.
You're heading to Orlando, where at World Finals we will celebrate 40 years of Gravedigger. And you and Dennis Anderson had a long rivalry, and now you and Adam Anderson have a rivalry. So would it be a little extra butter on the bread for you to go out and spoil another Dennis Anderson moment and win a world championship?
It would, you know. I mean, huge respect for the family for sure, but competition all the way to the end, you know. I mean, that's what it is. He's got an awesome family of drivers. You know, it's really exciting for me to be able to put Adam Anderson down. He's a tough, tough competitor. He's probably the fastest racer in the game right now. I really feel that way. And, you know, hopefully we had great, you know, runs here later in the year in racing. And I really feel like our racing game is gelling at the right time.
You can watch Tom compete for a 13th and possibly more world championships on May 21st and 22nd at Camping World Stadium. Tom, thanks so much, and I'll see you in a few weeks.
I can't wait to get there, Scott. It's going to be awesome to be back at the World Finals and see all those extra fans that take the next step up and above to make sure they attend the greatest event.
Let's take a look at this week's power rankings. No change at all throughout the first 9 as Ryan Anderson continues to top the rankings. Tyler Menega remains the highest ranked non-series champion on the list. And Charlie Pauken re-enters the top 10 this week as he rises 1 spot to number 10. For the full rankings, head on over to monsterjam.com. New competitors continue to be announced, and I will catch you up on the World Finals field each and every Thursday. So let's take a look at the updated list of superstars who have been announced so far for World Finals 21. Some notable names on this list. Son of a Digger's Ryan Anderson will make his 9th World Finals appearance as he tries for his 3rd championship. Zombies Bari Musauer makes his 8th appearance in the main field. Earthshaker's Tristan England makes his 4th appearance, and Tom Meents will now compete at his 20th World Finals. Now 4 series champions have been crowned. 1 is still to come. It's a 3-day affair in Orlando. You don't want to miss the award ceremony on Friday night, and you certainly don't want to miss all of the action inside Camping World Stadium on Saturday and Sunday. Once again, that's World Finals 21 in Orlando, May 21st and 22nd. Get your tickets now. The next episode of Monster Jam airs this Saturday, May 7th at noon Eastern on CNBC. It's round 9 from Tampa. You can also catch us on Saturday, May 14th for round 10 from Minneapolis, which is also at noon on CNBC. For the entire television schedule, you can go to monsterjam.com/TV and join us on the road to World Finals with 26 rounds of coverage on NBC Sports. If you are on social media, be sure to follow us at Monster Jam on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Use the hashtag Monster Jam on all of your posts, and you might just find yourself on the giant video board at your live event. As always, monsterjam.com is the place to go for everything related to the sport, including results, point standings, merchandise, tickets, and digital content such as the weekly update and our newest series, Arena in 25. Next week, I will have all of the action right here as we close out all 3 Arena series, and I will be joined by the Arena Championship Series Central Champion. So make sure you join me on our YouTube channel and at monsterjam.com. That's it for this week. Have a great time at your Monster Jam live event. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you right back here next Thursday on the Weekly Update.